we're getting ready to go on a couple trips together, and as we're doing this, this is Kelley's first adventure with some new stuff that's come forward. I want you to share your story. I want you to share where these guys came from and how you work with them.
Okay, this is, it's amazing and phenomenal, and okay, so a year ago, I am a dental hygienist on my spiritual path and my journey, and we go on vacation to Florida with my husband and the kids, and my husband had to stay longer for work. He worked in Florida at the time. When he came home, we give him hugs, and we're so glad to see him because he's been gone so long. Well, out of his carry-on bag, he pulls out this orange bag of rocks. And he says, "Here's your rocks." And I look at him and said, "Well, those are not my rocks. I didn't go rock digging." And he's like, "Well, they were on the dresser for you. They're your rocks. I thought you left them. I thought you went somewhere one day with the family and got them." And what they were, here, I'll do my best to show you, but here's some of them in my little box. There's all these, there we go, we can see that. Little semi-precious stones. There's citrine, there's amethyst, there's quartz, there are I have one smoky quartz, actually there might have been a couple of them. In this bag with this dirt that was all kind of fine powdery dirt. And before he came home, about 1 week or so, there was a Dragon Riders Unite meeting at April's. And I went to it. I had to go. I knew that whatever it was talking about, whatever was being offered, that was one of the classes that I had to go sit in on. And he brought the rocks, and so at the next meeting, I asked the energy we channeled Dragon, and I was like, "Where did these rocks come from?" And Dragon responds, "Well, we can be really tricky." So what I was told is, when I was here at the time, this is kind of, I can get a little teary-eyed because it's just, I get covered in goosebumps when I think about it. I went into the crystal caves, the cave of knowledge and wisdom, and I was the only one who's been able to bring the crystals out of the cave. This really blows your mind when you think about it. This is like, put the right button. Fantasy books. This is sci-fi TV. I'm a dentist. And that I am the crystal keeper. And I will learn the messages of the crystal to use them eventually as an alphabet and other ways of reading. And actually, I do have a way that I read with the crystals, and I give readings now, which is just a huge leap. This is just a huge leap from where I was just a year ago.
I'll never forget. I called you and I said, "Kelley, bring your dragons over." Hence we call them dragon castings. I said, "Kelley, bring your dragons over. I want to see them. I want to see what you've got." And they had pre-warned me, my guides had pre-warned me that we were going to do some readings, and you were going to start playing with them, and you were going to start developing and working with them. And we sat down, and what happened?
In about, 2 hours or so, the main crystals that I had been led to just really carry with me and have with me became very vocal. They were it was like, that was the day, and I had no idea. And I'm a procrastinator, and when big things like this come up, my personality tends to put it off. Had April actually said what we were going to do, I probably wouldn't have come. Because it's a big responsibility, and I accepted it, so I must go forward with it. The messages of dragons they're not for the faint of heart. That's dragons' language, but they're all meant for healing and love and to get the most out of life. And here's, okay, I'll do my best to show it, but these, there they go. I don't know if I'm able to show them, but there's about 14 or so that I work with, and this one's brain, with when I'm doing readings.
Excellent. Excellent. She was
Right.
so funny. The second time we got together, I told her, I said, well, now we're going to start practicing doing some readings. And she's sitting there and she's like, okay, we're going to practice, right? I said, yeah, we're going to practice. But by the way, I'm going to have my recorder on. She's sitting there and she's going, it was just so funny.
And then that was the first Casting Dragons show, and there was a way that I was initially taught how to do the readings, but it didn't take but maybe a month or so, and I was just doing them. Instead of having there was a tarot deck, you do a certain spread, and so the knowledge kind of came through thanks to April helping me get over my anxiety. I probably would have figured it out eventually, but I'm very thankful for that help. But when the knowledge came through, it was like, well, here is how you'll do this and this, and to help give me a foundation. And about a month later, I'm just reading them. I don't really need that foundation.
Excellent.
Anymore,
Could you take each one of them and kind of hold them up and tell us their name?
So this, see it right there. This is Brain, or not Brain. This is Butch. We call him Butch because he's big and he's what we think is copper, and he actually looks like a little dragon head. And he's all about being grounded. And a lot of times he'll speak to whether or not you're grounding in your life and you're taking the time to center yourself and be balanced. Let's see, this one is Brain, and Brain is an amethyst, and he kind of speaks to you about either you're using too much of your brain, not living with your heart enough, or sometimes it'll be you're really on the right track, you're thinking about things properly, and sometimes he doesn't say much at all. A lot of times I'll do a reading and I'll come up to the crystal and they'll be silent and I won't have anything for him, but then I'll come back and we'll have something to say finally. And this one is I Am, and he's kind of lets you know whether or not you're secure with yourself and your path and where you are.
Can I have you pause for a minute? I had to wipe my eye.